Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. It is the Ration Museum Bulletin, number 23. It is December 27th, 2020. Welcome, everybody, to the stream and to the last one of 2020. I'm sure a lot of folks are looking forward to saying that about a lot of things. So, last stream of 2020. This coming weekend we'll have New Year's, and I'll be back. I'll be back on Sunday next week. So, howdy Gail, howdy PXG. Welcome. Hope you guys are both doing good. Hope everybody had a good holiday. I saw some family over Christmas. Went out to Pittsburgh and did some wandering down to Virginia, and had a good time. So hope everybody is staying safe and all that jazz in the holidays. And hope everybody's getting ready for a new year. So let's see. We could start with mail call. I've got two things that showed up with the museum listed. One, I have no idea what it is unless it's something from someone who reached out via the contact form. But I haven't heard back from that person, so I'm doubting they just went ahead and sent something. But the other one is probably something I snagged on eBay, if I'm thinking correctly, because that's the only other thing I'm expecting other than the trays from last episode that the seller confirmed he owes me the trays, 8 of them, and was going to get them in the mail, but then the holidays got in the way, and I understand, so we'll see. Hopefully very early next year we'll have those. Hopefully before the next stream, probably not. I'm going to poke them again after this and just... or maybe right after New Year's, and just say, hey, just a reminder, get those back in the mail. So, but he's aware, and he is going to send them in no extra fees. So that'll get sorted out. The only other thing I got was an empty tin, so that's probably what that is. And then this, who knows? Maybe it's... Oh, I wonder if it's the the labels for all of these USPS flat rate boxes, because I had snagged, like 20 of these boxes or so, or 40 of these boxes, I think, different sizes, and had snagged a whole bunch of labels, but the labels didn't show, so I had to fill them out when I went to the post office. No big deal, but then I got a ticket because I was at the post office for a minute and change longer than I was supposed to be, so just by 1 minute, so I guess it did matter. If I'd have gone with those filled out, I wouldn't have got a $50 ticket, so that, yeah, the mail is definitely having extra troubles. I just had, just before I came here, I checked my mailbox, and it was stuffed, all kinds of cards and stuff from, I'm assuming sent, weeks or so ago, just all started to make it through. I mean, you got to prioritize what you got to prioritize. I'm sure people were prioritizing packages and, whatever they could. But hey, everybody, looks like chat's picking up. So we got, let's see, we got Gunner, we got Jeff, we got Xeno Saga, we got JW Speaker, we got Curious Pete, we got Kalen, we got, I said hi to Gail and PXG dueling already, but that was before everybody joined, so just saying howdy again. James Ortiz, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Good to see y'all. So, let's see. We're gonna see what these are, I think. Let's start with this one. Small package, something flat inside, potentially just labels getting here almost 2 months after everything else. That's what it is. So, oh yeah, that's currency right there. I guess I'm good on flat rate labels for a while. I do still need to get some of those soft flat rate mailers. Those things are great. So I'll pick some of those up through the USPS site and be better prepared to ship some stuff out. So this one, interesting. They've got to scribble all over it so that it is not tea. Just making sure this is not tea. All right. Well, it's not naughty. It's just not tea. All right. We're just gonna go right on in through the back. Oh, we got extra packaging. Let's see. All right. And this has kind of been a theme with me lately. If you can't tell, I'm ordering empty things. I think mainly because I can tell myself it's not the worst thing in the world to spend 20 bucks on another thing for the museum, but I think it's certainly, in this case, I want to say it was like $19 or something. So this one's in good shape. Not perfect shape. Man. So this is a British emergency ration tin. These edges on these things, they will cut you. They will definitely cut you. And that's the same with a lot of these World War II era tins. They and World War I era tins. They have just these little metal lips that pop over the can and keep it nice and tight, but they are razor blades when they open up. Thankfully this one has a rolled over edge, but that edge isn't all the way rolled over, and that is sharp. So, but this for sure, that would cut you. Like if I just pressed and slid my finger down, it'll cut it right open. There's no doubt in my mind. And that cigarette tin I was showing you guys like a week or two ago, well, or an episode or two ago, that's just just picking it up and twisting the lid at all, I get concerned that I'm going to cut myself. Never heard of that spell. Wait, who's talking about spells? Transmutation. Transmute and Skyrim. Oh, okay, gotcha. Did we freeze? Oh, I hope not. Oh, okay, good, just go. Yeah, Skyrim's great. It's never gonna stop. I guess they're just gonna keep re-releasing it on every new system from here until the end of time. But it's been what, like 8 or 9 years or something since it came out originally. So good on them. It's a good game. So not to get too distracted, but I've been playing Cyberpunk. That's been really fun. And sorry if that was a lot of crunchy noise there. I was saying I've been playing that Cyberpunk 2077. In addition to my my gold standard, normal, or gold standard, my standard fare. That's what I meant to say, of Fallout 76, which it's just my end of the day relaxation. Really, you just wind down before bed by going around and picking up old cans. There's a reason I like it. Exploring the post-apocalypse. But JW says he hates Cyberpunk. Well, to be fair, I think I'm lucky. It seems to be working just fine for me. I'm very far into the game, and there's been some hilarious little bugs here and there, but nothing that's wrecked my game. So I'm lucky in that regard. I know it's not the same for everybody, and some folks just have to put it down and come back to it next year and hope that there's some patches. So, yeah, no fun. But did everybody have a good Christmas? Hoping everybody did. Might have, if anybody got any rations out there. Am I on a computer? Yeah, I'm on an old laptop right now. This thing I picked up for the Doswell uh, meetup back in 2016 because I didn't have a mobile computer at the time, and I intended to stream, so I just wanted something that was basically capable of it, and got this, and then used it as my travel laptop for a little while. Now I have a Surface for that, and this is officially the museum's computer, so it works out. See, got a bit more of a crowd going. I'm just waiting till there's a few more folks before I share some pretty awesome news that came in over the last week. That I'm just so happy I can finally take a breather. But in need of a ration with bloody digits. Don't know what that means. Did I figure out what was in the Kodak barrel? No, I've got some leads, Pete. So it seems like it's just a general reusable shipping container. But I don't know much more than that at the moment. I'm trying to figure out different eras, and I'm trying to find somewhere where there's a picture of that exact barrel in use somewhere, which is always really really nice when you're trying to date or put a range on something, is to find one that's the exact same. But I mean, it's a green barrel. It's got some markings to go off of, but um, it's not something that there's a website with a lookup form to say, hey, look up your military-ish shipping containers in this period. But yeah, I do want to figure it out. You can see it, well, kind of almost. It's under that Navy barrel, so right down, let's see, right down there behind, yeah, right down there. You said it again, James. Bloody fingers. I don't know what that means. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I get it now. My bloody fingers from the tip. Okay. I'm just slow on the uptake today. Cordon bleu ration does sound good. I mean, overall though, rations these days are some pretty fancy fare compared to just not too long ago. I mean, we go back 40 years and you'd be thrilled to get some hot dogs or anything that wasn't beans. And now you've got everything, very flavorful, very ingredient diverse dishes out there, as opposed to just like potted meat product or something in brine or something in barbecue sauce. Fred, howdy. Didn't get to say howdy before, or howdy yet, Fred. Good to see you. Renee, good to see you as well. Anybody else I miss? I hope not. Looks like I'm caught up. So let's see. I got here a couple hours ago, and I intended to get started on a trial that hopefully I'll get in place by next week. But I want to try and start streaming to more than one place at once. So I want to try and stream to YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook at the same time, and see what we can do in terms of picking up more steam. One thing that I got to figure out along the way is properly tagging all this stuff. Like on Twitter, when I take the time to put a bunch of tags on something, it does a little bit better. It gets a little more exposure. A few folks come through, and it's actually, there's been folks that saw the Twitter and came here and signed up to keep watching. So that's exciting, but I definitely need to keep trying and get a much wider audience. I need to start using that ad grant from Google, but just overall, I think the very first thing over the next week or so, I need to just start listing out all of the things that are needed, because it's been a long time of saying that that's coming, but not getting too much work into it. So Slowing down. I'm going to get a list, for everybody that's already signed up as a volunteer. I'll be sharing it with you, and it's going to be all kinds of tasks and all kinds of different goals. And it's going to be a system where we can all add notes and comments and discuss something. And hopefully some folks, can see some tasks in there that they think they'd be able to help with, and we can get some things going. Um, got all kinds of stuff across the board to get going, but one thing that's really important that's been keeping me from moving this forward, other than everything you see around, which is a lot for this year, has been our status with the IRS. So, as I've mentioned in previous streams, back in May, the IRS automatically revoked the 501c3 for the museum due to me missing some paperwork. So I hadn't filed in time. I didn't end up filing until a few weeks later, and that was accepted, but it was too late. So the IRS has some automated systems in place. They saw I hadn't filed. They pulled the nonprofit status. So there's a process to then fix that. That process should have taken total turnaround time about 3 weeks. Because normally, in a year that's not 2020, as soon as that automatic revocation happens, and a letter goes out, and the letter goes to you and says, hey, it's been pulled. So I would have gotten that letter before I actually even filed, and I would have filed immediately, and I would have sent back the form. So I get the letter, not a week later, not 2 weeks later. I got the letter September, it was dated as going out September 16th. So it's been a while, right? So from May to September, everything's backed up. Nobody's working in the IRS. Everything's shut down. The backlog is just building and building and building. So then they finally get to it. They send it out. In the meantime, I was trying to sign up for services, trying to file, additional paperwork, and everything was failing because we'd been revoked. But they didn't report to the public that we'd been revoked, only to other tax accounting software things that query into them. There was no like public facing message that we'd been revoked. So I had the feeling that it had happened, but couldn't get anyone to get on the horn and confirm it. So anyway, summer's weird. We finally get the letter, and then a day and a half later, I've filled out the forms and I've sent them back in. There's a box that's pretty much like, we made a mistake. We didn't get our forms in time. Here's the penalty fee. Please reinstate as of the date that it was revoked. And that's supposed to be 2 weeks at most. So that went in September 18th. And as of December 23rd, which just so happens to also be my birthday, I got the letter from the IRS that they finally got to it. They finally processed it. And we are tax exempt again. It is retroactive back to May 15th. There is no gap. Everything's fine. And we've got another, it's indefinite, but we've got at least another 3 years at our current status of 990N before we have to reevaluate the org and all that kind of stuff again. So this is fantastic. It's been a just like I would call the IRS and I'd be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour, and then they'd pick up, and you could hear someone pick up the phone, clear their throat, and then hang up the phone. They didn't even talk. They were, I guess, just that burned out. And I tried so many times over the last couple months to get a human on the phone in the IRS just to see where this was. And honestly, it's probably best that I didn't, because I'm sure there was nothing that was going to speed this along any faster. It was just stuck in the paperwork pipeline for all this time. And finally moved out. So, I can hopefully get away from dealing with them for, years. But we're good to go, and going to be starting a fundraiser in 2021. So that's the long and short of it. Finally going to be able to actually fundraise and not worry at all about the tax exempt status, which, when you send the paperwork in, if you have no reason to believe that it would be rejected, you're allowed to operate as if you've already gotten approval. But I didn't want to do that just in case. I mean, rolling the dice has not been the has not been my strong suit lately, to put it lightly. So any random chance has not worked out super great, and I'd rather dot every I, cross every T, all that sort of thing. So, all right, catching up. Oh, hey, Pete, got an interview tomorrow. Good luck. I break a leg, whatever the accurate saying would be, but I wish you the best in the interview. Knock them dead. I think would probably be a better one. Big robot dude keeps hitting you with rockets and a laser gun. Oh, it's in your game. And hey, Marilyn, welcome. And anybody else I missed. So, this week I got in, and this place was pretty much a wreck. There was that shredded paper stuff from unpacking last time, pretty much everywhere, and boxes strewn about from trying to dig out, everything in the abandoned ship stuff over the last few weeks. And there was nowhere to put anything on the shelves because it wasn't super well organized over here. So I spent the last couple hours doing that. And then before I knew it, I looked over and it was 4:58. It was time to hit go on the stream, and I gotta admit, I have not planned out super fully what we're gonna do tonight. I I'd been hoping to work on that for an hour or so before the stream started. Got all kinds of ideas, but no. So part of me wants to pull those 2 compo rations back out and do a full inventory of what's in them, so that we can start figuring out what wasn't supposed to be in either of them, if there's anything that makes up their actual menu C or D status. I mean, or it makes up the contents of an actual menu C or D, and then potentially figure out what's trading fodder. Because I think there will be, some folks out there that would like to trade for some of the compo ration contents. Seeing as how there's only one that's an actual close to it ration, and the other one was absolutely just a dumping box, then I'm not too concerned about breaking up what I got. For instance, I have probably 20 cans of margarine. So I feel like I need a button for like a dramatic zoom when I say something like that. 20 cans of margarine is quite a bit. PS4, PS3, PS5. It's been a heck of a season. I'm an Xbox guy myself, so I am looking forward to the new Xbox, but it doesn't have a lot of launch titles. It's not really available, and I don't have a new generation TV to even hook it up to. So for right now, I'm not rushing for it. Um, I assume there's going to be stuff for it early next year and whatnot, but it seemed like they were just trying to get it out before the end of the year. Everything everywhere is kind of messed up with this year. I'm sure there's all kinds of development companies that are behind on schedule and whatnot for their games and for everything else. I mean, hey, you look at Cyberpunk 2077. They delayed from April to September to November to December, and they could have delayed another year and probably spent the whole year working on it. So, yeah, you're right, Fred. I do need some background music or something. On my other stream, I haven't been doing it for a few months. I had a record player hooked up, and up in the corner there'd be a camera looking straight at the record while it's turning, and just kind of cut out just the record part. And it was neat. It was a good aspect to the stream. I was running back and forth and swapping records too much though, which was kind of a pain. But in the end, it just meant that Twitch and YouTube pulled all of the footage, because it had music in it. So at some point for this stream and for that stream, I have to get that little tech upgrade figured out and get some royalty-free music that we can play in the background. Not elevator music, but almost. Um, Anybody play Pinochle? No, I mean I'm not actually even sure I remember how to play Pinochle. It was my family growing up. A lot of aunts and uncles and whatnot would play that. Pretty much every time they'd get together. Play with fabric, yarn, and needles, says Gail. So, um, tried to get my niece to start on that path. I got her a learn to sew kit with where you make a little like little stuffed animal. Just to start. So she's 7. She can start sewing uh, with needle and thread. Hopefully she doesn't stab her fingers too much. But yeah, I learned to sew and weave and a bunch of stuff when I was a kid, and it's always useful. Um, yeah, much nicer to be able to fix something once in a while than just throwing anything out, as soon as it gets ripped or torn or worn out. Though uh, weaving, weaving's maybe it'll be useful, more useful in the future in a slower type of life. But for the present, I haven't done any weaving in a very long time. Used to have a little plastic loom, and you could set it all up and then run the cart through, switch it over, run the cart through, switch it over, run the cart through, and that's pretty much it. Changing out the thread to make different patterns, or I mean, changing out the yarn as you're going on the cart to make different patterns on the whatever it is that you're making, whether you're making like a scarf or a little carpet or a pot holder or something. But so back to the rations. Yeah, I was thinking to pull those back out and get a feel for what's in them, between them. Uh, Probably spill out some more of the ridiculous shredded paper. I did my best to clean one of them out, and the cardboard inside was pretty rotted out. And while I was shaking it out, a pretty large spider fell out and started rambling across the floor. And I hate to admit it, but I had, I killed it. And generally I don't kill spiders, but this was, from the inside of that British ration. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's, would be a problem to release it into the wild here. It did look like it had an egg sac on it, so I figured better safe than sorry with hitchhikers. And that's a good lesson in general. You ever find a hitchhiker, you don't know where it came from, and you cross the state border or something, you got to take care of it. If you know what I'm saying. Embroidery is your next step. That's I have a client in my day job that we work on their website. Websites plural. Um, Oklahoma Embroidery Supply and Design. I don't think it's a problem if I mention their name or anything, but they have a couple of websites, Embroidery Online and Scissor Tail Stitches, and some other sites that we haven't worked on yet, but we worked on those two. That they sell the digital. They sell the files that you run on smart modern sewing machines that do embroidery for you. I guess they're embroidery machines. So it's the files that they need to operate, and you hook up all your different colored thread, and you put your file into it, and you put your fabric into it, and you hit go, and it does the whole thing, and it can do multi-layered embroidery, with drawing a little picture on there, or they'll sell all kinds of different uh, all kinds of different patterns and kind of clip art or actual characters and that kind of stuff. And I guess that's the thing. You could either do it by hand or you've got machines to do it. So if you're gonna make something that has an embroidered touch on it that's going to be over and over and over and over and over again, you'd want something automated for it. Tandy leather kits. I don't know if it's the same thing I'm thinking, but man, leather work. I haven't done any of that for almost 20 years either. But yeah, that used to be a thing where you'd get your dies and your handle, and you'd set each die, and then you'd tap it into the leather, and then you'd put the next piece and tap that in, and or you'd get just the little the tools that you could just tap along and keep on going, and you'd press a decent pattern into the leather, and then you could put a stain on there and wipe it off everywhere other than in the grooves. I mean, yeah, it was great. Yeah, crafting in general I think is kind of kind of taken a bit of a backseat for a while, but with everybody indoors for the last year doing whatever they can to stay sane, I think it's kind of come back a bit. So that's nice. Like just people need to develop a couple past the time but make something useful sort of skills. Um, I think it's important that you not let yourself get bored. If you're sitting around thinking, "Oh God, what is there to do?" Well, you're doing it wrong. You need to pick up a couple more hobbies, couple more interests, something that'll keep you from getting to that point where you don't know what to do. I don't know if I am gonna have a moment of free time for the next like 25 years at this rate. So, um, I mean, in a good way. Like there's plenty of quality time and uh, enjoyable time on that schedule. It's just not free time. It's not aimless time. Can't have too many toilet paper cozies. Well, toilet paper rolls, I gotta say, um, have improved my organization game quite a bit this year. You put them in a drawer or a shoebox, standing up, and then all kinds of cables and stuff just tuck into them perfectly. It's great. Really makes organizing small stuff easy. All right, I'm rambling again. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna pull those compo rations back out, and we're gonna start seeing what all's in them versus those menus again, and try and get them mixed up and get a list of stuff that we don't necessarily need to keep forever. So grab a sheet of paper there. All right, and we will switch over to this. And we'll grab these things out. So putting the cardboard down. These are not light. All right, so well, no, you don't. All right, back. Let's see. So we've got the one box that seemed mostly accurate, but still had some dumping ground kind of stuff. It was certainly lacking in terms of cans. And then we had the other box that was pretty much all cans. Lots and lots and lots of them. But just all over the place sort of mix. So, I'm going to grab another paper towel because these are still not the safest in terms of their cleanliness level, but it's not so bad. So I'm going to get this toweled up. Get some more set up right down here. And we're going to get started on the margarine count. Let's see. Order a cake after the new year. Yeah. Pete says somebody's hoarding all the shelf-stable margarine. I mean, I don't know who it could be. I only have the bare minimum I need for myself to get through these uncertain, trying, and difficult times. Just a little bit of margarine. Let's see. So we've got, first off, let's pull out the piles and piles and piles of mashed potatoes. Put them, actually, I'm going to put them off to the side here. And some of these various other sundry items. One of those has the menu in it, so I'm going to want that. Oh, this is the rice. So now one thing I don't know for certain is what would be the actual number of these cans in one of these. So we have to kind of think about, yeah, we're officially in the make Pete hungry part of the stream. Yeah, I think you're right there. Sorry. So we have to think about, if this is 10 men for a day, what are they going to need in terms of these cans for a particular serving? So like, if one of the meals is cheese, certainly they don't want a man to sit down and consume this by himself, do they? Maybe that's 2 servings, and 5 cans would be necessary for a 10-man ration. Maybe it's, 4 servings, and only, or maybe it's 5 servings and only 2 cans are needed. I mean, it's maybe it's 10 cans of processed cheese, but I doubt it. Let me get a pair of gloves on. Now the bigger cans, the tall soup-looking cans for like steak and kidney pie steak and kidney pudding and that sort of thing. I would assume for those, we're probably thinking 2 to 4 cans for a serving, but I'm not certain. I think part of the clue is going to be in looking at what the whole menu was, and then looking at the volume of space that was in here and figuring out roughly what could have fit. So to figure that out, first we can think, all right, so we've got 3 rows by 5, so 3 by 5. So we got 15 on each layer, and it's 4 layers thick. So we've got 60 can spaces. Now, a lot of these take up 2. So say, that would be space for 30 of the half cans or 60 small cans or a mix thereof. So we're going to be able to start doing some math as we break these down and figure out where they all kind of fit together. It's gonna be a fun experiment. There's also supposed to be space for these other bits and pieces, supposedly. So I'm not 100% certain how it's supposed to line up because we have two fairly different cardboard layouts within the cases. So we have to think about the space that would have held the mashed potatoes, the cookie, well, the oatmeal, the oatmeal block, well, I guess oatmeal cookie, the the various little bits and pieces, but it didn't have the bread. So that's another clue, is that it calls out that it doesn't have the bread in the box. So everything else that's listed and not labeled that way is very likely supposed to have been in the box. So we can get a feel for how much of that there is and then subtract that volume from the 60. Whether that's going to be, 6 off of 60 or 12 off of 60 or, something like that, not sure. And I know I'm probably talking gibberish at this point, but this is when I get pretty excited about rations, is kind of doing some ration archaeology. And I know there's not a whole ton of information around the packing and contents of the British Compo ration. So that's where we get to step in and figure this out. So we're looking at 60 can spaces or 3 by 5 by 4, and some amount carved out as a pocket. Let's see. Pete says, would those rations have had can openers like the American rations? Yeah, I believe can openers are included. Yep. And here we go. This is essentially the accessory packet for this. So we got can opener, suggestions for the use of the ration, and toilet paper was in this pouch. So we have 2 of the menus. We actually have one of the can openers, and it's a P51. So it comes in this little paper packet. And it's a white kind of metal. It's like kind of a roughed up aluminum versus stainless steel. Actually, let me switch to, excuse me, let me switch to this one. This might give you slightly better. So you can see, like, one of them is stainless, and one of them is, I don't know whether it's plated or anodized or just, you can see it's rusting up in the corners. So I don't think it's stainless. I mean, I don't think it's plated stainless that's rusting. I think it's just steel. So yeah, it did have the can opener with it in one of them, which is, that's a plus. I was happy about that. We're getting trays that didn't come in the cases themselves, but were British mess trays, so they'll go together. And you can see the toilet paper. The toilet paper is of the kind of, if you can hear that, it's essentially tissue paper, as if you were packing a present for Christmas and crumpling up some tissue paper to stick on top. That's the toilet paper that this ration came with, was a nice wad of that. So we've got 2 sets of the menus, so 2 different years. We've got a 93 and a 94 as the cases themselves. So looking at these two sets of menus, we've got two distinct styles. And they aren't dated, but based on the the format of them and the instructions on the back, I believe that we're looking at the 1993 set here and the 1994 set here. So with that in mind, we're going to figure out what came from the more complete one, which was the 1994. So we'll figure out what was in the 94, and if anything from the miscellaneous box gets to go towards that cause, all the better. So, and then we'll see what would have been in the 93. So we've got a 94, we've got a June of 1994 menu D compo ration is what we're looking at here. So just gonna take this camera down. There we go. That's our buddy for today. Compo ration, 10 men. And it's just short for composite ration. But it officially became the full name, just compo ration, at some point along the way. Let's see, flip that around. So, menu D, 1994, we were looking at bacon burgers, beans and tomato sauce, biscuit or bread, margarine, marmalade or jam, oxtail soup, chicken curry, rice, carrots, fruit salad, lunch meat, cheese, biscuit or bread, margarine, and jam. This doesn't seem right at all. So maybe this was, maybe I have my sheets of paper backwards, and this was the 93 and this is the 94. So let's take a look at the 94 menu. Oatmeal block, beef burgers, beans and tomato sauce, biscuit or bread, margarine, marmalade or jam, oxtail soup, curried lamb, rice, peas, syrup sponge pudding, corned beef, cheese, biscuit or bread, and margarine. So between both of these, we're missing all sorts of things. So these appear to be a bit of a dumping ground in general, but with the compo rations, it does warn you that all kinds of things might be substituted last minute. So let's see what we're looking at in terms of some of these other menus. We bring this camera in here and flip this. Whoop, wrong one. Let's see, hopefully you can still hear me. Somebody give me a still hear you, just so I don't go crazy after flipping to the wrong menu there. So I'm going to put this down so it's not moving around, and I'll bring this a little bit closer. All right. Let's see. So okay. Thank you, Kaylin. And thanks, Gail. So let's see. Yeah, so everything could be subbed out. Oh, hey, Dubsy, welcome. Yeah, so a lot of stuff can be subbed, but they're not gonna completely change out the entire menu or meal. So we'll see. So we've got, as a for instance, I don't believe there's any cans of oxtail soup among any of this, and I don't think there's any curry among anything here, or any carrots anywhere. So this menu D is pretty far apart. Bacon burgers, I believe there might be one can. And then if we're looking at this other menu D, we've also got oxtail soup, curried lamb. This one had chicken curry. So, I mean, either we're short a bunch of cans might have gone bad, cans might have been swapped out, or we had subbed main meals. But we'll have to find out piece by piece. Could also be that things kind of shifted around and the 93C is the one that's supposed to be home to the more complete collection than the 94D box. So let's see what we got. We're looking mainly for, let's look at the C menu on both of these two. Oatmeal blocks, sausages, beans and tomato sauce, biscuit of bread. I'm just going to go for the mains, or the main different, like, cans. So cream of chicken soup, steak and onion casserole, potatoes, carrots, mixed fruit pudding, corned beef, cheese, margarine. That menu C, we have a lot of stuff from in that bigger mixed box, the 93 box. So that jives. The menu C over here, sausage, beans and tomato sauce, margarine, marmalade, chicken soup, steak and onion casserole, potatoes, peas, pilchards or salmon, cheese, margarine, jam. So we have a lot of that too. Yeah, in both cases we're still missing all sorts of things. But over here on menu C, we've got, oh wait, I just checked menu C. Menu D was the beef burgers, beans and tomato sauce, margarine, marmalade, oxtail soup, curried lamb, rice, peas, syrup sponge pudding, corned beef, cheese, biscuit. Okay. So we have a lot of steak and onion casserole, which, judging from this, does not appear. Well, let's just double check. So we're going to take a closer look at. We'll take a closer look at the older looking sheet, the one I think might be 1993. And I'm just scanning top to bottom for steak and onion casserole. Ooh, menu A has goulash. I don't know if any of you folks out there are acquainted with goulash, but it is a acquired taste. Scares some folks away, but I'm a big fan. I mean, it's been years and years, but I like goulash. Let's see, we got mulligatawny soup, which is I think a lamb dish, or I'm not certain. I know of lamb mulligatawny. I've had that before in a Norwegian Arctic ration. Anyway, minced beef, milled rice, chili kidney beans, canned fruit, salmon, cheese. Let's see, down to E. We've got, as far as the unique stuff goes, vegetable soup, steak and kidney pudding, potatoes, carrots, chocolate sponge pudding, luncheon meat, cheese, biscuit, bread. Let's see. Minestrone soup, chicken and vegetable casserole, rice, peas, canned fruit. And then at the very bottom down here, we've got bacon grill, stewed steak. So yeah, so this whole menu does not include the steak and onion casserole, which is a can that appears prolifically throughout these boxes and is definitely in both. Mulligatawny is a light curried soup, says Pete. A buddy used to make the chicken version, and it was slightly sweet. Well, that sounds good. Kaylin says she'd be all over a good goulash. Yeah, I very much like goulash. Let's see. What seemed to be in good shape, Dub C? Yeah, almost everything. If you're talking about this ration, almost everything in here does look to be in pretty good shape. Some of the cans are flaking. The gold is like it's kind of a sealant layer on top of just a regular um, stainless steel can or aluminum can. I think they're stainless steel cans. Um, so or just steel cans. Maybe not stainless. Maybe that's what the coating's for. Uh, so you can see on ones like this where they're starting to flake and corrode. Um, but not all of them are doing that. I'd say actually nearly all of them are not doing that. So let's see. No steak and onion casserole in this whole set. In this set, however, we've got steak and onion casserole as menu C. And anywhere else? Doesn't look like it. Steak and kidney pudding for menu E again. No, it looks like for this year, it is steak and onion casserole is part of menu C. And this year, it's wait, no, I'm wrong. It is menu C on there too. I'm crazy. I guess I just looked over it so many times for some reason. Okay, so steak and onion casserole is in both years. So that at least explains its prevalence in this collection. It would be interesting if it wasn't in either of them. But all right. We don't have any mushroom soup or goulash or chicken and brown sauce or stewed steak. Actually, might have some stewed steak, but I think either way, let's start getting everything up here. And we'll see what we've got all together. Because these cans are essentially the same. The dates might help a little bit, but not too much. Some of them are dated 92, some of them aren't dated at all. Some of them have values stamped on them that don't mean a whole heck of a lot to me specifically, like RW043 space 26 on. Actually, no, that might be. No, I don't know. That's so hard to figure out. RWBA, actually, maybe? Looking at it like that. But there's another. No, it does look like 43 at the end to me. RWO 4320. But, not sure. So we've got steak and kidney pudding, stewed steak, kidney beans and chili. So yeah, I guess we are kind of all over the place. Let's see. Kidney beans and chili is menu B. Let's see. So that's kidney beans or chili kidney beans, or it's not on the old menu B. Chili beans is on menu G. I don't know. This is going to be all over the place. Bear with me. Let's see. Processed peas. I've got just a bit of an itch. It's driving me nuts. Certainly don't want to itch my face with the gloves that are handling these rusty, slightly turning cans of peas and such. All right. We've got, start piling up. Just gonna put that there. Put this back where I had it a second ago. Soup can go over there. Oh wait, hey, here's some soup. This says tomato and beef, and it is, hopefully that's a Best Buy, $19,599. 3036 is next to that. So let's say that this is packed on the 36th day of 1993 and it's good till 1999. So, okay, that's a possibility that this is part of the 93 ration, and that the 93C might be our slightly more built, or it could have just been packed in 93 and it's in the 94. Is it possible that these cases are the leftovers of several kits thrown together, says Gale. Yes, it is very possible now that we have them open and we're digging through them. In the auctions, they were pretty much just a picture of the box lids opened up and some of the like various items taken out, the like the bags of mashed potatoes, you know, that sort of thing, all in a heap. So it wasn't, there was no like full list of contents. The boxes were interesting for the museum, and the contents, you know, we're going to see how close we can get to something, but I was assuming we'd have some cans just missing and removed, but instead it looks as though these, and I don't know about the other three in the overall collection that had originally been sold to the guy who I bought these two from, but maybe the whole box of 5 was the dumping ground for whatever they didn't cook in some field training exercise at some point. You know, you never know with this kind of stuff, but you know, the other 3 might have been complete and sealed, or I don't recall from looking at the other auctions. I know some folks had looked at the original auction, which went for almost nothing on UK eBay, to the guy who I bought these from for a good deal more, but I didn't see, or I did see that auction, but I wasn't looking intently since it wasn't for sale to the US. So I don't remember all the extra pictures there. So it's possible that some of the other ones were a little more complete and I got the dumping ground ones, or it's possible they were all a mix like this. Howdy, Ronald. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. So let's get back into figuring out what we got. You know, I've got a little space here and a little space here. Just going to lift this up a little more so we can potentially get a bit more of this out at once. Let's see. All right. Off to the left here, I'm going to start collecting the margarine and cheese again. Let's see. So that's what's going to go over here, and we'll see what we get up to. Oh. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. I just didn't want to keep banging into this thing. All right, so we've got cheese, margarine, and cheese. Margarine and cheese. Margarine, margarine. Looking at the dates and lot codes, we got WE394, WE394, R4612/2, R4612/1, 16A, 17A. So These are 93. This only has the second portion, 043Z. So that's like that other date we were seeing in 043Z. 43 might be 493, might not. 20114. Yeah, overall, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to. I was just thinking as I was putting these out, like, oh, I should put the 93s and the 94s together, but I think that might be going a little too far, because a lot of these are not going to be easily determined to be one or the other. All right, so, but for what I can, just at a quick glance, I'll put like with like. So let's see. Are the cans from the UK? Yep, these cans are British composite rations, aka compo rations, from the early 90s. And this was a 10-person, one-day ration that was meant for meant to be prepared, so meant to be cooked up into different meals throughout the day that needed ingredients and prep time. So this was not a meal ready to eat style style ration. This is one that it's going to give you cans of peas, cans of corn, cans of margarine, 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 and cans of margarine. And then it's going to add some margarine. So just to, sorry, bad joke, but there's a lot. So we're already piling up the margarine quite a bit over there. Actually, I guess I might as well keep it focused there for just now. Let's see, we've got in the back here, we've got ones that are clearly stamped 94. In the front, we've got ones that are stamped 93, and then this row's for ones that, who the heck knows? Like, well, here's a 92, actually. 892. So I'll do that. And then these are unknown. Oh, this was marmalade. That's why that's different. Margarine, margarine, cheese, 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 margarine, margarine. All right, let's see. We got another 92. We got a 93, 93, 93. Marmalades. All right, let's see. Margarine, margarine. This is all cheese over there. Okay, so I think this is the last of the margarine. 92, and then one more 93. So we have 10 cans of 1993 margarine, 6 cans of 1994 margarine, 3 cans of 1992 margarine, for a grand total of 19 cans of margarine. A lot of margarine. Have a happy new year to you as well, Ronald. Thanks for dropping by. Let's see, now we can pull out all the cheese and see what we have cheese-wise. But so looking at these menus, there was marmalade. Okay, so there's margarine with breakfast and margarine with dinner at every meal. So there's also biscuit or bread um, at both meals. Then there's, let's see, in the morning it's sausage, beans and tomato sauce. In the evening, it's going to be something like salmon, luncheon meat, um, canned cheese. So in both cases, there's nothing that you're cooking with the margarine. You're not busting open one of these cans and then getting out a thing of flour or anything like that. Now, granted, I'm sure you'd keep some for the mashed potatoes, or you could keep some for the mashed potatoes, which are only ever listed here as just potatoes. So, but they're not listed in a meal alongside margarine. They never are. So, it's hard to believe you'd need 20 cans of margarine. So I'm thinking if they're going to use it to spread on bread, they've likely only had one can for each meal, at most two cans. So I would think the rest of this is just random spillover. Um, there's probably two for the 93, two for the 94, and the other 15 cans are just a general collection because even though there were probably two cans, they probably only ever needed a can. Keep in mind you also got these sealers, so you'd pop this on at the top. Now imagine there's 10 of you and you're buttering your bread and you're passing this around. You're buttering some bread to have, or buttering some biscuits to have with your sausage in the morning, or buttering some bread to have with your tea in the evening. This is a sizable can. It's the size of like two cans of tuna. Um, as a comparison, it's about the same size around, and it's about twice the thickness of a can of tuna. So that's a lot of margarine. Now imagine it's morning and you're passing around one of these cans. I don't see 10 guys, necessarily emptying one of these things. So I bet it's pretty likely that they came with two cans, and in a lot of cases, people only ever ate one of the two cans, and the rest just kind of kept building up somewhere. So this might have been, you know, someone, these might have been in the possession of somebody that worked as a cook in the British military, and was the one to kept a few of the boxes over the years and just kind of kept putting in extra cans that people didn't eat, thinking, oh, it's good emergency food. I'll store it. I might need it someday. And then eventually decided to part with it, when he noticed there's some collectors out there, but he didn't put it up for too much. And then collector got it and turned it around, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm betting that's part of the story of this is, they generally didn't even go through their second can and built up quite a few spares. Granted, that's going out on a limb a little bit, but same thing with cheese. It's a lot of cheese, and all they've got to eat with the cheese is essentially the buttered bread. So, it might be the case that they pop one of these open and slice it up or cube it up. But, it's a can of processed cheese. I think it'd be hard to get through too many of these in one sitting. Let's see. Pete says, I've read some strange supply stories. It's very unlikely, but I can actually see someone open this in a theater and getting a case like this. Oh wow. I would really hope that they wouldn't be that haphazard when packing these things. That it's just like, well, you know what? We're out of everything. Just fill the box with whatever we got. We got margarine. Okay, fill the box with margarine. But if it's something that happened, it's something that happened. All right, so we've got very similarly stamped cheeses. So we've got like CC013 30142, and then this CC013 30149. So only the 42 and 49 are different there. Then we've got, there we go, CC102 20114. So essentially everything's different there. I mean, who the heck knows? Now you want cheese. Well, you know, I look at these and I'm definitely tempted. You know, here's a nice night and day comparison. Like this one on the right, not in bad shape, but definitely bulging. Kind of hard to tell, but definitely bulging. And then versus this one that's very, very, you know, sucked in, very normal. So like if I were picking between the two of these to try, it would be this one in a heartbeat. Because you can see, you know, the one on the left, those rings are stepping down the whole way down. And on the right, it's down, up, down, up. It's kind of like, you can tell there's like a ridge to it and it's starting to bulge out, whereas this is all in. But, and then between these two, I mean, their codes are pretty much the same. So it's just going to come down to storage. You know, this one, totally different set of codes, but this outer layer is peeling back. You can see it's like a translucent plastic layer. It's almost like a plastic shopping bag in like thickness. And then under that is just a steel can, not stainless steel. So that exposed to moisture can rust. So these cans are coated, likely as just a safety step, and then the coating eventually wears down. So we've got more and more and more cheese. Let's see. Right now, actually, that one can that was sucked in, this one's by itself. You know, as far as being like that, all these other ones are bulged at some point along the way. Like these stacks are more wobbly because they aren't sitting edge to edge like the margarine. The margarine's fine. All the margarine's fine all the way through. So let's see. So we got more and more cheese. So I'm going to keep this cheese off to the side for a second while we pull out the rest of these. Because if I'm ever going to try one of the cheeses from these, it's going to be that one, I think. Yeah, all of these have some level of bulge to them. All right. Yep, every one of them except this one has some level of bulge. This one's perfect. You know, it's got some degradation to the outside of the can, so it's not completely perfect, but it's perfect in terms of the seal and, you know, probably the quality. You know, the food inside's probably as good as you could hope for at that age. So that means we've got 14 cans of cheese to go with our 19 cans of margarine. And we've got, let's see, that. And then we've got 4 cans of marmalade. mixing. Put that back. And then we've got one can. Whoop, or did I already mix it up? One can of apricot jam. Here we go. All the marmalade and apricot jam, they're fine. You know, none of them are leaking. None of them are bulging. You know, they appear to be in good shape. So, that's all of those various sundry bits. You know, then we've got all the actual, like, main course kind of cans. So, I'm just going to push this whole stack back a little bit. And we're going to flip focus to over here. Alright, so, I wonder why it's so washed out color-wise up there. This, maybe I should put a little something. Doesn't matter. Okay, so, we know that the steak and onion casserole is in both years, so that's dead theory. Let's see, the stewed steak is the main meal for menu G in both of them. So that could be either. Let's break up main meals and maybe years. So we've got a 92 steak and onion casserole. We've got steak and kidney pudding. Steak and kidney pudding. I'll pull out all of those. Steak and kidney pudding, steak and kidney pudding. And one more of those. So we've got 5 steak and kidney puddings. We've got 1 beef burgers. 1 bacon grill. 1 mixed fruit pudding. 3 beans and tomato sauce. Yeah. In each of these cases, sorry. So the question was, are the cans full of what the top says, or is it something multiple? So these are all. Let's see. You can't really hear. It's you know, these are all mostly like somewhat. You know, these are all moist food, I guess is the way of putting it. So it's 1 big can of, you know, like a damp entree, or you know, a ready to eat but expected to be reheated, you know, meal piece. So we've got cans of peas, steak, kidney pudding, onion, you know, steak and onion casserole, etc., etc., etc. But there's just one thing per can, and there's a lot of cans. So we've got, let's see, 2 more steak and onion casserole, 3 more steak and onion casserole. And they're all dated 92. So that's this whole segment down here. We've got, looks like we're going to have, in the end, 5 processed peas. I'm going to put them back here. Processed peas. processed peas. The peas do not look great. None of them. They're all slightly rough cans. Little bits of stuff floating around. So all the cans are out at the moment. Let's see. Put these boxes over here. So we've got one each of most of these things. This is the only dry one here. So it's a can of rice. I just think it's neat. Can of just dry white rice, probably. Might be brown rice, but so that would be expected to be. You add water and you got to cook it for a good long while. It might be instant rice. Let's see what they say here. There's going to be instructions on cooking the canned rice. So I'm going to read those real quick. Using 1 can as a measure, add 4 measures of water to the cooking container, bring to a boil, add rice, and cook for 15 to 20 minutes, stirring to prevent rice sticking to the bottom of the cooking container. Allow to stand for 5 minutes to absorb water. So it's not instant rice. It's definitely just regular rice. All right, so this has got kind of an interesting stain dripping down it that looks like the can material more than it does the contents. There's nothing wrong on the top of the can. Just this residue going all the way around. So it looks like maybe the process to coat these cans, got a little too much on this one. I'm not sure. So we've got 4 steak and onion casserole, 3 bean and tomato sauce, 5 steak and kidney pudding, 5 processed peas, and then 1 of everything else. So we can say for one of these rations, we'll do beef burgers and 1 we'll do bacon grill as the contents. So menu C has, let me just I gotta check these days. Okay, nothing. Just making sure it's not somebody messaging me and saying, hey, you're not on the air, Didn't realize I'm this far off camera at the moment, but hello, I'll be back on there in a second. So this one had sausage for menu C and bacon burgers for menu D. This other one had sausages for menu C and beef burgers for menu D. So this beef burgers could be with our 94D. Oh wait, no, we have a 93C and a 94D. Is that right? 93C, 94D. Okay. So if this sheet is the 94 sheet, then we could be looking at oatmeal block, beef burgers, beans and tomato sauce, margarine, marmalade, oxtail soup, curried lamb, rice, peas, sponge pudding, corned beef, cheese, biscuit, bread, or margarine. So there's corned beef in that box. I didn't pull that out. But so there's corned beef in there. Corned beef is potentially a part of menu D from the other year. It's just listed luncheon meat. doesn't say corned beef. But then again, the other year says luncheon meat for menu E and A, and specifically says corned beef for F and D and C. And I know from Corey that a lot of these were very loose in terms of like the meats that came with the breakfast and that sort of thing. So they'd get mixed around, but there were different ones, and they did have them broken up. So I wouldn't assume that corned beef is the same thing as luncheon meat in another year, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make. So I think, even though this looks like an older layout to me, I think that this might be the 94 and this is the 93. So that would mean we have a 94D from this menu, which would be missing oxtail soup, missing curried lamb, missing sponge pudding, but it would have, so missing those three, but it would have oatmeal block, beef burgers, beans and tomato sauce, margarine, marmalade, corned beef, rice, peas, cheese, and more margarine. So it'd be missing 3 things and having 10 things. I mean, technically, let's not count the margarine twice. So it'd be missing 3 things and having 9 things. That sounds pretty likely versus the other year where we've got bacon burgers missing, oxtail soup, chicken curry, carrots, fruit salad, luncheon meat. We'd have 6 things missing if this was 1994, and would only have beans and tomato sauce, margarine, marmalade, rice, cheese. So we'd have 5. So I'm going to go ahead and say for right now that this is quite likely most of a D from 1994, and this menu does go with it. So that lets us separate out quite a few of these things, and I can put them back into this box. And then we can separate out anything else that's not supposed to be in there. So, for instance, there's no potatoes in that menu. They were just dumped in there. Potatoes would have been part of a menu C that year, and same with the other sheet. So if we say this is a 1993 menu C, I'm not expecting almost anything to line up. So not a problem if it doesn't, but oatmeal block. Okay, so we have the canned items. We have sausage, beans and tomato sauce, margarine, marmalade, chicken soup, steak and onion casserole, potatoes, peas, well, potatoes not canned, potatoes instant, salmon, cheese, mixed fruit pudding. So we have a bunch of stuff there. So I'm going to piece this back together with the items that came out of this. And then we're going to have kind of a spillover of items that don't go to either of these specifically. And we'll keep an example of each, and then the rest can essentially be trading fodder. In the event that and or stuff to try, if we want to get adventurous. And I always say we a lot, but I say that because it's not just me when I eat one of these old pound cakes. It's all of us. You guys get to take part in the cringe and the fear side of it too. So let's see. We can start piecing this back together. Let's start with first. I'm going to just kind of shake this box back out again. There's just all kinds of that shredded paper still Still making its way in the nooks and crannies. So I just want this to be a nice clean starting point. Alright. And I'll sweep this place up again before I leave. I'm not going to leave a mess this time. Don't want to come back to a mess next week. Because I want to get back in and have the better part of the day to make some more progress on something more important. Okay. So, let's say this is the 94D. Alright, 1994D. Would love to see, Kaylin says she'd love to see these mashed potatoes mixed up. That one I think we're going to be able to accommodate. I have quite a few of these. We didn't get to count these together this time, but we'll count them in a minute. Fry the potatoes in margarine. I think I'll add margarine on top. Fried mashed potatoes. I don't know. Fried potato pancakes are a thing, and they're pretty good, but I wouldn't start with instant mashed potatoes to make those. But who am I? Who am I to make a plan like that? I have no idea. There might very well be a recipe for good potato pancakes that starts out with instant. But yeah, we can get creative, because you certainly know that the guys in the field had to get creative. All right, so let's say this sheet here is 94, and this sheet is 93. Seems backwards to me, but the contents match up quite well for both, so let's go with this. So we are looking at oh wait, neither of these had stewed steak. Okay, so this isn't going in either of them. Okay, so for the menu D, we're going to put in the can of beef burgers. We're going to put in the beans and tomato sauce. Let's see, that's in both of them. So I'm going to put I mean, if they're all the same stamping, okay, they're not. This ends in a 4. These both end in 3. So I'm going to put the two 3s in the 93 case. I'm going to put the 4 in the 94 case. Just going to shake out this 93 case as well. Alright, so that's better. Put that back together. I'm not sure about the inner cardboard just yet. Like a latke, yeah. Latkes are good. $530 cans of margarine. Yeah, pretty much feels like that. Alright, so we'll put the 2 beans and tomato sauce from 93 in that can. We'll put the one from in that box. We'll put the one from 94 in that box. Alright, and then we're looking at rice. Rice in the 94. And peas in the 94 and the 93. So let's look at what we have in terms of dates on the peas. This has that 4-3. I'm thinking that might be April 93. Four three. This ends in a 4-2-4, so might be February 94. This one ends in a 2, so it might have been 92. I don't know. Just guessing right now. This ends in a 4, so I'm going to put the 2 with 4s in the 94 box and the 3 older ones in this box. Older-ish ones. Getting bits and pieces on me. Let's see. Howdy, Daniel. Welcome. Let's see. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Nope. All right. So we've got mixed fruit pudding was in the 93C. So we'll do that. And then we've got kidney beans and chili was in neither. Let's see, kidney beans and chili. Chili, kidney beans, menu B. Chili beans, menu G. So this might be part of a menu G. Let's see, it ends in a 3. So this is a menu G item. This is a menu G item. This was a weird one. So this one doesn't look like the rest of the cans. This is just kind of printed text. There we go. Chicken and vegetable. Chicken and vegetable casserole. Nothing on either side in terms of that dark lettering. So chicken and vegetable casserole was menu F on this sheet. Chicken and brown sauce. Yep, so this is menu F, mixed item from the same year as the menu G items, the stewed steak and the wait, what was that? The kidney beans aren't menu G on this year. Oh wait, no, they were menu G back here. I don't know. We're getting all over the place, but these are mixed at the moment. So we've got, if this is a menu D, the corned beef is going to go in here. That's the menu D box. Steak and kidney pudding. So we've got can ending in 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So these are all very similarly date stamped. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. So steak and kidney pudding is not in the menu D or the menu C. Steak and kidney pudding was a menu E item. Yep, looks like menu E both years. So this is an extra off menu item. Just double checking. Yeah, so this isn't on either of those. So I mean, that's good because these are supposedly still good. Someone was saying last week that somebody opened and ate one of these from this set. Like from this same set of 5 cases of rations. So of which I got 2. So these might be good to try. And I am interested, to see what a steak and kidney pudding really is like. But, in general, it's like, are you getting a great example when it's 20 years old? Or, I mean, in this 27 years old. Okay, so these are all outside the ration at the moment. Bacon grill. So bacon grill, so let's see, beef burgers in the menu D, and bacon grill maybe. Nope, sausage. So this is an off-menu item from both years. Yeah, it's sausages for both menu C's. So then steak and onion casserole, I think, was going to be another meal as well. No, okay, so that's menu C. So I'm going to put these 4 cans of steak and onion casserole in this menu C box. This one is a good deal lighter than the others. Seems like it's lost some liquid over the years. And I'm seeing 92 stamped on all of these. So going into the 93 box, that might make sense. They're all stamped 0692. GB 0692. So let's see. So these aren't looking, quite as populous as they had before in terms of what's supposed to be in them, but it's not looking terrible. Let's add some accoutrement. So we'll put 2 cans of the 93 margarine in the 93 case. I'm going to put 2 nice cans in there. And we'll put 2 nice looking cans of the 94 margarine in the 94 case. And we'll put 2 cans of cheese. Same thing. So there's 2 styles to these. Oh wait, no, that's marmalade again. I'm doing it again. So I'm going to grab cheese. I really can't tell. Some of these numbers end in, some of these date sets end in a 3. Some of them end in a 4. And I think on some of these cans, it's just the last, digit, not the whole year on some of them. So it's possible because we've got them ending in 2, ending in 3, and ending in 4. I'm going to try and find one more 4. Got 2, 2, 3, 3. All right. I'm going to put a 3 and a 4 in one. And 2 3s in the other. And then as far as marmalade and apricot jam, see, I'm going to put a marmalade and a jam in the one and 2 cans of marmalade in the other. All right. So rounds us out a bit, but you know, we're looking at some pretty empty looking cases here. There are supposed to be 2 of these per case. Neither of these had potatoes. Let's see. In addition, every box contains, which is printed on one. Okay, they both have it. So in addition, then let's pop back up to this one. All right. Every box contains instant coffee, tea bags, sugar, instant milk powder, chocolate, sweets, books of matches, toilet paper, can opener, and 2 reclosure lids. Except for biscuit or bread, which you should have drawn separately, there is enough food in the 10-man pack for 10 men for 1 day, 5 men for 2 days, etc. There are sufficient beverages ingredients to make 2 pints of tea and 1 pint of coffee per man. Canned fruit or vegetable varieties are available at the time of packaging, and contents may vary. So, you know, they call that out. Let's see if these are different on the other set of instructions. Every box contains instant coffee, tea bag, sugar, instant milk powder, chocolate, sweets, books of matches, toilet paper, can opener, and 2 reclosure lids. Except for biscuit or bread, which you should have drawn separately, there's enough food for 10 men. Enough food in the 10-men pack for 10 men for 1 day, 5 men for 2 days, and in the 4-men pack, 4 men for 1 day, 2 men for 2 days. Okay, so that'll definitely help separate these sheets, because this is the same menu for a 10-man composite ration and a 4-man composite ration. The only thing that would vary is the amount of cans of the items within them, and individual side things. Hey, Joe. Welcome. Well, you didn't miss it entirely. You know, it's almost 7. I'm winding down. This was fun. We got to go back to last stream's mail call item, the compo ration, that we just kind of haphazardly took a stab at, but there was shredded paper everywhere. There were some that were kind of iffy, and I didn't want to move them. You know, and we were just kind of piling it all out and then putting it all right back, or leaving, you know, in some cases leaving it. So this week I wanted to go through and really get a feel for what do I actually have, what's spare stuff, and what was part of these rations. And you know, this is a clue here. When the menu sheet covers the 10-man and the 4-man, so there might have been a change in between 93 and 94. Oh yeah. The guy did accept that he owes me those plates, so no problem. It's the holidays. I'm not pushing him at this point, but I talked to him before the holidays, and you know, he said he forgot them and that no charge to ship them over, and he'll get to them very soon. So I'm not going to pressure him. We'll see in the new year. Hopefully he gets those sent over. Otherwise, you know, I'll ping him again and just say, hey, get those moving, please. But he's going to send the 8 trays, and we'll be good. And they weren't part of the rations themselves, from what I understand. He just is sending 10 British military mess trays, which that'll be cool, you know, because if we ever have another of these ambient rations from the early 2000s, I want to eat it, and as a as an event, like when we have something for the museum where there's going to be a bunch of people, I want to bust out one of those larger rations. Joe says he got an old army bandage and an 80s M1 helmet yesterday. Oh, nice. Were you out at oh wait, I was gonna ask a 2019 style question. Were you at a flea market? Remember flea markets? Remember flea markets and dirt malls? I mean, I don't know. People have other names for dirt malls. Indoor year-round flea market where it's open like Friday, Saturday, Sunday in like a ramshackle kind of building. Sometimes it's like an old Kmart, sometimes it's its own thing for like 100 years, but it's where people rent a space and build out a stall. But it's not like a flea market where you rent a space, set up a table, put your goods out, sell for that weekend, and then pack it all up and leave. These are more like you have a space for 15, 20 years. And it gets all very specific to you. So like you go to these places and it's, there's little micro food court kind of ideas, and there's all these stores that are like homemade stores. It's like, there'll be like a candy store, but you go inside and it's, an older couple running it, and they built it themselves. They found all the shelving one piece at a time. They nailed the stuff together. They built the store. It's very it's not commercial in the like corporate sense, I guess. It's not cookie cutter chain America. It's just real, real people selling their way. So yeah, they're all over the country, and I miss those things like crazy right now. So I'm assuming you meant for Christmas, in general, but yeah, antique malls. Yep, same thing. Columbus, New Jersey. Oh yeah, yeah. There's a nice one there. Oh, did that just close permanently? One or two good ones in New Jersey just closed forever this past year. Before everything fell apart, actually. Um, the Columbus one I don't think closed. The Berlin market's still open, I know. I don't know about now. I don't know about anything now. I haven't checked in a while. But those things are great. Like I never really find ration stuff there anymore in the Southeast PA area, but you never know. You never know. Civil defense stuff turns up once in a while. Um, and you might get a good deal, or you might get somebody who thinks a single can of civil defense crackers should sell for $75. And they're crazy. Columbus had a fire. Well, that'd be a shame if that one's closed down. So let's see. Looking at what all's in here, I'm gonna put this one Duncan's with the 93. Wait, let's see. It says 6160 on the side. I don't know if this came with this at all, or if this is a much later bar. Yeah, the ones that spark up at fairgrounds are neat too. The Bloomsburg Fair had a section for that, and they had some that for a while there were open year round, but I don't think that's a thing anymore. Oh, speaking of Bloomsburg, didn't see Aletha tonight. Normally there'd be some mention of Bloomsburg or Nescapec or something, or Nanticoke, I forget, but or Old Smoky. Hope they're doing all right. It's the holidays. Everybody's probably still going around doing family stuff. Or yeah, I Goldberg was great, wasn't it? um, probably still going around doing family stuff, or just finally getting that post holiday relaxing time in. Um, but personally, I had a great holiday. I really enjoyed taking just this. Today will be day 5 off. Get to just breathe, get to travel a little bit, see the family. None of like in my immediate family, my brother, my sister, my mother, myself, none of us have been going anywhere or doing anything for a very long time. So we took the risk. We overlapped with each other. I'll be seeing my grandparents again in a little bit, but I'm going to wait a few weeks in between. That's the best. That's the best I can do. And in general, I don't grocery shop myself. I don't work in an office full of people anymore. I mean, it's just, I don't have a lot of overlap. I don't go to department stores. I don't do any of that stuff. So if I wanted to see some people for Christmas, that's what I was going to do. You know, here I am arguing with no one. I mean, because zero of you have said anything to the contrary or cared. I really do hope everybody got to see some family or whatever though. So let's see. As far as these sundry bits, we know none of them get these potatoes, so these are all extra. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 things of British, I mean not British, these are made in Germany, I think, but for the British rations. But what was that, 13 things of mashed potatoes. Wait, Angry Blacksmith's on here? I didn't say howdy. Or is that another name change? Or has there been another name change? I mean, emergency ration with the ship name stamped on it. Joe, don't let me forget. I'm going to write it down this time. So that was the souvenir from the SS United States. So I checked. Their office is closed for COVID. But they're right across the street. So I don't think I'm going to get the info anytime super soon. But I'd like to go over there and talk to them and bring a camera and just get some content around that little discovery. So I'm not going to forget. Survival ration. Stamped SS United States. Because that ship is in the harbor here in Philadelphia, and its Preservation Society Museum is across the street. So I should be able to get pretty easily some facts around whether or not that was actually sold on the ship, and if so, when it was sold on the ship, and that sort of thing. So we've got 1 biscuits brown that wouldn't have been included in the ration, but would have been drawn with the ration. So I'm going to put this into the 1994 one. Boiled sweets. This is almost certainly not the correct one because it is very clearly marked. Oh wait, no, that might be an expiration. So it's marked 02. It's almost impossible to see. 02/07/98. So actually, now that I think about it, it's also marked 8152. So these might be good until 1998, or they might have been made in 98. But every one of these rations came with packs of boiled sweets for everybody, so there'd have been 10 packs of these in the box. So I'm going to put 1 in here. Same thing for the oatmeal blocks. These were in the box, and there'd have been 10 of these. So I'm going to put the oatmeal block in there. And I'm going to put the other oatmeal block in that same one, because that'll be the most complete one. Now we got tomato and beef soup. Tomato and beef soup. Not on that menu. chicken and noodle, minestrone, vegetable, oxtail, cream of chicken, mulligatawny, mushroom. And this other one is mushroom, mulligatawny, chicken, oxtail, vegetable, oxtail, vegetable. So this one is tomato beef. Doesn't really fit with any of those. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the menu D anyway, though. Let's see. Because this would have come with oxtail soup. Maybe this was a substitution. But, you know, we'll get a feel for the concept of soup in there. So Joe's saying he wonders about these potatoes. So some of these packets, like this one, you know, I wouldn't expect they're going to be great, but they're probably still edible. The packet itself is in really nice shape. It's a heavy metal, but then packets like this is going to be perfect. Like, there's nothing at all wrong with this. This is absolutely vacuumed brick that has been held 100% like that since, you know, since packaged. So this one's going to be fine. I wonder if they're you know, I wonder if they're going to have salt in them, or if they're just, you know, the potatoes, if they have butter, like, you know, that's the kind of, if they have butter, that could have gone bad. But the potatoes, I'm definitely gonna eat one of these. I have 13 packs. They didn't come with either of these two. Excuse me. I'm definitely gonna eat them, or eat one of them. And I think I might open up one of these cans of 1992 margarine. If nothing else, I can put some on top. But I'd like to have more than just that if I'm going to open up one of these cans, so that it's not, you know, just a complete waste. I've got one spare plastic lid, so that's neat. Because there's two in each box, and there's two in each of those boxes. We're going to put this one with the 94, along with this open first packet that we looked at earlier. So that's got the can opener, the menu sheet, and the toilet paper. Pop that in there. And then this menu sheet I'm going to put in the other one. Let's see. And then all of this other stuff is excess. So I'm going to get a box for that and get it all boxed up. So we've got all of this excess through all of this. And frankly, a lot of it's in great shape. So I think we'll be able to, you know, get some of this spread around the community and see what folks can come up with. You know, the mashed potatoes, it would have been neat to get those around before Thanksgiving. Maybe for next year, if we all hold on to some of these, we can have like a, you know, a video where we all make up some mashed potatoes together, I mean separately, and then film ourselves and then combine all those into one big video or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of stuff that'll bring the community kind of more together and get everybody to interface with the museum a little bit, because like to be part of everybody's world. You know, we want to get more and more educational as time goes on too. So, you know, want to be able to you know, do some collaborative work with streamers and reach a wider audience, and also, you know, get to share, you know, what some of this stuff was like. All right, I'm rambling a bit, knocking over cans. So I'm gonna call it here, I think. Let me switch over to this one. So I think this was good. We got these ready for. Still, some cleanup is going to be necessary on these, but I think we got them a little closer to a displayable condition, and we got a better feel for what was out there. Granted, these things looked a lot fuller before we broke them down, and we didn't really have to worry about anything having, so many more cans than we could have imagined being part of one of the rations, that we ended up with excess of any of the actual main meal pieces that went in there, at least. So just all this stuff and the ones that are in other meals. Um, I wonder if anybody, else that bought these is aware of this program. If so, they should reach out. We can see if we have anything that belongs to each other. you know, because there was a menu G for sale and there was a menu F for sale, I believe. So it's possible that some of my menu G and F items are from those. But I think what I was saying, that some military cook somewhere had, just a mess going, and was getting these boxes, every now and then, and would cook things up and always have a can of this or a can of that, or maybe he busted open a box and they got one meal and then they didn't do the second meal, or they didn't do the snack meal, and he just had all these extra. Just kind of kept piling them in somewhere. So you know, this down here, so this one, the 94, this might just be the remnants from when it was used, and nearly everything in there has been eaten. And this 93, is almost half complete, but imagine a whole nother layer like that, and then this section hollowed out for all their little bits and pieces that they'd stuff in there, in terms of the boiled sweets and the candy bars and the soup and all that stuff. You know, maybe that's all that's going on, and then the rest of this is just all the margarine that no one ever ate, and everything else. So either way, I think it was a fun adventure for the night. It was kind of off the cuff, but I think it was very useful for me, at least, and I hope you guys had fun. So last stream of the new year, the good news that we're officially recognized as nonprofit again, and can't wait to see y'all again in 2021 for things to start really looking up. So go get some food, Joe, and see everybody else next week at 5 p.m. Sunday. So have a great New Year's, and I'll talk to you again soon.